Some of you may have noticed, okay, actually I doubt any of you noticed, but recently I've stopped saying Bushiroad in my videos. Instead, I've been saying Donuts Games. And this is because D4DJ started out as a joint project between the two companies, but recently, okay, maybe June isn't recently anymore, but Bushiroad has transferred full ownership of the series to Donuts Games. Wait a minute, that's a big deal, right? Well, let's look at what actually changed since the transfer. The first thing that comes to mind is the licensing, and this isn't just EN losing like 20 songs. In fact, that part's pretty much par for the course. It's actually kind of a wonder EN even got those songs in the first place, considering how often that just doesn't happen. Even on the JP side of things, certain songs are just no longer available. And all that has happened under Bushiroad's joint custody as well, meaning I don't think the song licensing is very much a Donuts Games issue. But what has been a big change is the privatization of all the anime on their YouTube channel. This was a pretty important change, as the anime being on YouTube made it very easy for people to get exposed to the franchise, and that sort of allows them access to the franchise as a whole. Kind of a whoopsie in my opinion, though I will say that the series remains on sites like Crunchyroll. Another thing that people might bring up as having gone downhill since the transfer is the translation. Now, I don't actually think it's because of the transfer. I personally only really noticed during the Doggo side story, but reading Crossbeat, the translation quality isn't exactly perfect there, sometimes messing up who the subject of the sentence is, etc., and that came before the split. Now, one could argue that Crossbeat was a test run before Bushiroad fully split from the project to sort of test the waters with how Donuts would do on their own, thus making Donuts the sole cause of the translation issues, but that is just speculation and kind of a long-ass testing period if you ask me. Crossbeat was like 7 episodes. Now, the last thing I want to say changed since Bushiroad left, I don't think is a bad thing, and I think that would be the Eurification of Harumiyu. Now, you might be thinking, wait a minute, did this guy just write like a 2-minute preamble using the pretense of the Bushiroad transfer just so he could talk about the new Lyrical Lily event? Yes, I did. First things first, I'm well aware that Harumiyu is far from a new development, but man, does it shine in this event. Like, when Haruna was worried about the media harassing the people around her, she literally only mentioned Miyu. And honestly, I think in general, the voice actor for Haruna just deserves a raise for this event. When she runs off into the mountains and gets depressed because she hasn't seen Miyu for a few days, relatable by the way, God, you can really feel that emotion. It's really down-to-earth writing, and actually, I think that might be a change related to Bushiroad leaving. The Doggo stories, or what I've read of them so far, also had pretty realistic dialogue that I really liked. Or maybe it's just that anything would feel realistic and grounded after Crossbeat, but either way, props to the writers and the voice actor. I think part of it is probably just because we've never seen Haruna truly down before. She's been angry or sad or anxious at times, but here she just sounds tired, and that's so good. And speaking of new things, there's more character development. Like, Miyu is unusually assertive in this story, and I love it. She's widely seen as this innocent little angel, but in this story, she's a lot more forceful, leading to her running away from home, dragging Haruna through a forest, and sharing a blanket. Man, I was told there was Harumiyu crumbs in this story, so I was basically waiting for it the whole time, and when I read the synopsis for episode 6, you would not believe how much I popped off. Like, I almost couldn't record this because I almost lost my voice. Like, yeah, I know Miko got like kidnapped or whatever, but counterpoint, Harumiyu crumbs.